Your kindness may not be saving anyone at all. It may just be turning you into the softest, easiest prey for people who know exactly how to wear the mask of a victim. Stay until the end, because there is a truth you need to face before they drain you so completely that there is nothing left of you. Be honest with the darkest part of yourself right now. You are bleeding inside, aren't you? Have you ever looked back at the scars all over your soul and asked yourself why your kindness, your tolerance, and your desire to live decently somehow turned you into the easiest target in other people's eyes? You were taught to become a good person. Always humble, always fair, always willing to believe in the good inside other people. But look at what the real world gave you in return. You are the one who gets drained first. You are the one who gets stepped on the most. You are the one who gets used until the last drop. And the most twisted part is this. Somehow, you often end up cast as the villain in stories where you were the one who sacrificed the most. That is the brutal truth. The thing you still proudly call kindness often looks very different in the eyes of manipulative people. To them, it is not noble, it is not beautiful, it is not admirable. It looks pathetic. It looks naive. It looks like a fatal opening they can keep drilling into until they get everything they want. So if you still stubbornly believe that giving sincerity automatically means receiving sincerity back, then you are slowly helping bury your own identity. It is time to face this naked truth, because what you are about to hear may shatter the entire old belief system you have been living inside. But at the same time, it may also forge a kind of armor strong enough that no one gets to wound you this way again. Welcome, and if those bitter words just hit the exact wound that is still bleeding inside you, then stop what you are doing and stay here, because this video is for you. And before we go deeper, hit subscribe. Your support is the fuel that keeps this channel going, so we can keep breaking down sharp psychological truths that help you take your power back and regain control of your own life. Now step out of the fairy tale and into reality. Because out there, some people look human, talk human, smile human, but move through life with the instincts of psychological predators. To people like that, your morality means nothing. Your empathy means nothing. Your longing for fairness means nothing. In fact, some of them feel excitement the moment they discover how compassionate you are. They take your kindness and weaponize it. They use your willingness to forgive as the rope that ties you to endless cycles of exploitation. And the harder you try to prove that you are decent, the more material you hand them to keep controlling the game. Right here, in this toxic swamp that is trying to pull you under, there is one survival law you need to learn. This world is not only full of good people, it is also full of people who are incredibly skilled at taking advantage of good people. You are not here today to learn how to harm anyone. You are here to build steel boundaries inside yourself. You are here to become sharper, more awake, colder when necessary. Not so you lose your goodness, but so that from now on, your goodness is only given to people who have actually earned it. It is time to wake up, wipe your tears, and carve this law into your mind. Don't just be a good person. Be a good person with fangs. And if you want those fangs to grow, the first thing you have to do is take off the rose-colored glasses. You need to look straight at the real face of the psychological predators hiding right beside you. You keep asking yourself why you feel so exhausted, even though the people around you often seem weak, wounded, or in need of protection. But here is the truth. Evil in the modern world rarely arrives with an obviously cruel face or loud threats. It is far more subtle than that, far more polished, far more dangerous. It enters your life wearing the mask of pain, the mask of someone unlucky, the mask of someone who has been misunderstood, mistreated, abandoned, or wronged. And sometimes it arrives wrapped in moral language. It shows up dressed like virtue itself. That is what makes it so hard to detect. These people know exactly where your weak spot is, your compassion, your guilt, your instinct to rescue. When a manipulator wants to drain you, they usually do not bark orders. They do not need to. They sigh, they complain, they tell you story after story about how unfair life has been to them. They speak in a tone that quietly pulls you toward pity. Then they slowly cast you as the only person who can save them. And the moment you, acting from the instincts of a good-hearted person, reach out to help, you have already stepped into the web. That is the trap. They distort reality with frightening precision. They make you question your memory, your instincts, your judgment, sometimes even your sanity. When they hurt you, they do not apologize. They flip the entire story until your pain becomes the problem. Your sensitivity becomes the issue. Your reaction becomes the evidence used against you. They throw the stone, then hide the hand. They stab you with invisible knives, then stand there, acting like they are the one helping patch you back together. And what happens next? You start apologizing for things you never did. You start defending behavior that is clearly toxic. You start convincing yourself that if you just love harder, stay softer, give more, endure more, sacrifice more, then maybe one day they will finally change. But hear this with a clear mind. They will not change just because you suffer harder. Trying to use your sincerity to heal a manipulator is like trying to put out a fire with your own blood. The more you bleed, the more satisfied they become. The more you give, the more they take. The more you excuse them, the more permission they feel to keep going. So if you have ever been exhausted from constantly trying to save people who had no intention of saving themselves, drop a 1-inch the comments and burn this lesson deep into your mind. Never judge people only by what they say. Never judge them only by the tears they cry. Measure them by what they do consistently. Measure them by the emotional state they leave behind in you after every interaction. The most dangerous person is not always the one standing in front of you with a knife. Sometimes it is the one hugging you while quietly draining the last bit of life out of you. And no, seeing through these patterns does not make you paranoid. It does not make you bitter. It does not make you dark. It just means your survival radar is finally back on. It means you are beginning to see where your kindness is being respected and where it is being turned into a joke. That clarity is not cynicism. It is self-protection. It is maturity. It is the moment your innocence stops being used as an entry point. But spotting the predator is only the beginning. Because if you really want to survive and flip the game when you face people like this, something deeper has to change inside you. You need emotional discipline. You need the power of coldness. Why do you keep losing psychological battles? Because you are too readable, too reactive, too easy to pull into the arena. When you are falsely accused, you rush to explain yourself. When you are pushed, you beg to be understood. When someone manipulates you through guilt, you panic and start trying to fix things. You think you are defending yourself, but what you are really doing is exposing every emotional button you have. You are handing the hunter the control panel. That has to stop. And to stop it, you need to learn one very cold skill: emotional withdrawal, or in even plainer terms, deadly stillness. You need to become a gray rock, flat, boring, unreadable, emotionally unavailable to provocation. When someone tries to cut you down with sarcasm, mockery, or calculated disrespect, do not jump into a pointless argument just to prove you are right. Do not rush to make your case. Do not perform your pain for them. Look at them with emptiness. Respond with almost nothing. Give them no fuel. That silence will disturb them more than your anger ever could. Because manipulators feed on reaction. They feed on visible confusion. They feed on the proof that they can still push your buttons, get under your skin, and make you abandon yourself. And when you cut off that food supply, they start to starve. You need to understand this clearly. Not everyone deserves an explanation from you, and not every battle deserves your participation. The cruelest thing you can do to someone who is trying to destroy you is not screaming, not insulting them, not dramatic revenge. It is removing your energy from them completely. You take back your attention, you take back your empathy, you take back every reaction, even the tiny ones. You stop feeding the cycle. Picture your inner world as a fortress. Then all the judgment, manipulation, guilt trips, and emotional bait coming from outside become nothing more than broken arrows hitting a wall too calm to crack. And do not misunderstand this. Not reacting does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you have surrendered. It does not mean you are accepting mistreatment. It means you are disciplined enough not to hand your nervous system to the enemy. That takes real strength. You have to swallow the urge to defend yourself right away. Swallow the urge to prove your innocence right away. Swallow the urge to win every emotional fight right away. You keep your head cold. You keep your center still. And you move only when you choose the moment. When you master that, you step into a truth that changes everything. The person who can control their own emotions is the person who becomes nearly impossible to manipulate. That is the moment you take your life back out of other people's hands. That is the moment they realize the old tricks no longer work. That is the moment their cheap performances stop looking powerful and start looking ridiculous. Because now they are just acting in front of someone who already knows the script. And once you know the script, you stop getting emotionally kidnapped by every scene. Once your inner world becomes a fortress through silence and emotional control, the next step is to step back into the light and reset the rules with boundaries made of steel. Because before this, your boundaries were probably made of chalk. One wave of guilt, one fake apology, one dramatic plea, and the line was gone. You were afraid to say no because you did not want to upset people, afraid of looking selfish, afraid of being seen as cold, afraid of being called heartless, afraid of losing approval. But take a hard look at the cost. What is the price of saying yes to everyone? You end up saying no to your own peace, no to your own time, no to your own health, no to your own energy, no to your own life. That is why you need to break the obedient nice person mold and step into one of the greatest powers a free human being can have, the power of ruthless refusal. A real boundary is not a long speech about what you do or do not like. It is not endless explanation. It is not emotional pleading for people to finally respect you. A real boundary shows up in action. When someone crosses the red line you already drew, do not make loud threats. Do not repeat the same warning again and again. Do not beg people to behave better. Let the consequence land. That is what makes the line real. And you need to get comfortable becoming the villain in the stories told by people who can no longer use you. Because the moment you stop being easy to access, the people who built their comfort on your softness will react hard. They will insult you. They will spread stories about you. They will call you selfish. They will act abandoned. They will play the victim. They will try to punish you for pulling back. Let them. Their anger is proof that your boundary is working. If today is the day you stop letting people walk all over your limits, comment 1. Kindness only has value when it is offered as a choice made by someone strong, not when it is treated like a default resource that other people are entitled to drain. Do not feel guilty for shutting the door on toxic people. Protecting your mental territory with firmness, and yes, sometimes with a level of coldness that feels almost cruel, does not make you evil. It means you are finally respecting yourself. You are teaching the world how to treat you through what you allow and through what you reject without apology. So build yourself an invisible blade called principle. Anyone who reaches for your dignity, your self-respect, or your legitimate rights should meet that edge. Because only when you are brave enough to create boundaries that people cannot casually cross does your presence start to carry real weight. Only then do your words matter more. Only then does your silence matter more. Only then do your fangs become real enough that predators think twice before trying you again. That is what self-respect looks like in practice. Not in slogans, not in quotes. In consequences. Once you can stand behind those steel boundaries, something shifts in a way you can actually feel. Your life stops feeling like one long defensive war full of tears and exhaustion. It becomes a rebirth, a real one, a powerful one. Arise from the ashes of your former innocence. At first, you may have thought that becoming sharper, putting on armor, and learning to calculate risk would kill the good part inside you. But now, after walking through that painful transformation, what do you see? A free human being. A soul that has finally stopped bleeding. And this is where one of the deepest paradoxes of survival starts to make sense. Only when you are cold enough and strong enough to protect yourself do you finally have enough space to be truly kind. Real morality does not come from weakness. It does not come from helplessness. It does not come from lying down while other people crush you. A sheep that quietly lets wolves eat it is not a moral sheep. It is just powerless. The morality of the strong looks different. It means you have the ability to strike back. You can see through people's games. You understand exactly what they are trying to do. You know you could retaliate if you chose to, but you decide not to. You choose decency, but now it is selective decency, conscious decency. Decency given from a position of power, not from coercion. This world is rarely fair to people who do good blindly, but it is forced to respect good people who know how to draw lines and know how to impose consequences when those lines are crossed. And once that truth settles in you, your entire energy changes. No more constant anxiety. No more timid eyes looking for approval. No more desperate need to be understood by everybody. No more fear of betrayal around every corner. You become the observer of the game. You stand there calm. You see the masks. You notice the performances. You notice the manipulation without falling into it. And strangely enough, you stop hating the darkness out there. Because now you understand something deeper. The darkness trained your eyes to see. That awakening is the gift your scars gave you. So hold on to that edge. Protect it. Refine it. Let it become the compass that guides your life from here on out. You are not here to spend your life pleasing people who do not deserve access to you. You are here to build the proudest, strongest, most radiant version of yourself. Never apologize for becoming strong. And never bow your head to hide the fangs that helped you survive. Lift your head. Because today, you are no longer anyone's victim. You are the one shaping your own fate. And when everything in this message is stripped down to its essence, what should remain is not some lesson telling you to become cruel. It is a reminder to become awake enough that your kindness is no longer dragged to the altar and sacrificed. The journey from naive victim to strong and conscious human being is not about losing your goodness. It is about giving that goodness armor, giving it boundaries, giving it fangs, giving it enough awareness that it can protect itself. Because in this psychologically complex world, there will always be predators hiding behind the face of the victim. There will always be people waiting for a chance to feed on the compassion, patience, and life force of those who are too quick to forgive and too slow to walk away. That is why learning to see through distortion, mastering the art of deadly stillness, and building steel boundaries does not turn you into a bad person. It is evolution. It is survival. It is self-respect in action. The moment you stop reacting impulsively, stop trying to be the savior of people who refuse to save themselves, and start saying no with real finality, you officially take your life back out of other people's hands. And the most beautiful rebirth of all is not revenge. It is this. You still keep your goodness, but now you keep it from a place of self-possession, from a place of consciousness, from a place of choice. A truly good person is not someone who tolerates endless harm. A truly good person is someone strong enough to defend themselves, clear enough to see manipulation for what it is, and wise enough to remain kind on purpose, with limits, with standards, and with discernment. That is the deeper lesson. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Kindness without awareness becomes self-betrayal. And morality without strength becomes an invitation to be consumed. Real morality is not weakness. It is not passive suffering. It is not silent self-erasure. Real morality is the power of someone strong, someone who can fight back, someone who can leave, someone who can refuse, and yet still chooses to give kindness where it actually belongs. Now bring this into your real life. Start practicing the gray rock method. When someone criticizes you, mocks you, provokes you, or tries to bait an emotional reaction out of you, do not rush to explain yourself. Do not rush to defend yourself. Do not rush to prove your heart. Respond with flatness. Respond with calm. Respond with a silence cold enough to cut off the energy they were trying to pull from you. Set boundaries through action. Do not just complain when someone crosses the line. Practice saying no clearly. No long explanation. No apology for protecting yourself. No desperate attempt to make everybody comfortable. And if they still keep crossing the line, let consequences do their job. Finally, clean up your relationships. Stop trying to rescue people who only know how to complain but refuse to make any effort. Take your care back. Take your attention back. Take your energy back. Give it only to people who respect you, value you, and do not mistake your kindness for weakness. If from this day forward you are choosing not to let your kindness be used against you anymore, leave a 1-inch the comments. And maybe this is also the moment to ask yourself one honest question. Have you ever dealt with someone who kept playing the victim just to manipulate your sympathy? And when that happened, how did you handle it? Leave your story and your perspective in the comments so other people can learn from it too. And if this message gave you something real, take 1 second to hit subscribe and support the channel so we can keep creating more videos that help people wake up, get stronger, and take their power back.